Hello again. In this lesson, we will compare the two present tense verb uses and the future tense uses. This is really a review lesson. Look at the graphic. Comparing simple present, present continuous, and future verb tenses in English. Affirmative sentences. Maria drives to the office every day, present tense. In fact, she is driving to the office right now, present continuous. She's going to drive to the office tomorrow, future. She will drive to the office all next week, also future. Now let's look at the negative sentences. Hideo doesn't use his automobile very often, present. Yukiko isn't using hers at the moment, present continuous. They're not going to use hers on the trip, future. And they probably won't use his on the trip either, the other future. In many cases, time expressions signal verb tense. Words like everyday, daily signal present tense. Now you know, by heart, signals ing forms continuous, and tomorrow and next week are future signals. So let's do a little practice. We'll practice these forms aloud, and I'll make affirmative statements. You make the statement negative. It's very easy, but it's good practice. So, she drives to school on Mondays. You make it negative. She doesn't drive to school on Mondays, right? They are taking the expressway to Boston. They aren't taking the expressway to Boston. Okay? Here we go. She drives to school on Mondays. She doesn't drive to school on Mondays. Perfect. They are taking the expressway to Boston. They aren't taking the expressway to Boston. That's right. Hideo will buy new tires for his car next week. Yes, Hideo won't buy new tires for his car next week. Maya is going to ride to work with Yukiko. Yeah, the negative. Maya isn't going to ride to work with Yukiko. The students are learning to drive in their high school. Negative. The students are not learning to drive in their high school. Yukiko is taking driving lessons. Okay, she isn't taking driving lessons, or Yukiko isn't taking driving lessons. Many people in the suburbs drive to work every day. Yes, and many people in the suburbs don't drive to work every day. Perfect, and a good job. Now take a look at the graphic. Yes/no questions are quite simple. By now you should be experts. Look at these present tense statements. Yukiko usually rides to work with Tanya. Does Yukiko usually ride to work with Tanya? Question form. They usually drive to work on the expressway. Do they usually drive to work on the expressway? Simple present tense. Does for singular, do for plurals. Now, look at the other tenses. You are driving on the wrong side of the center line now. He is going to take driving lessons tomorrow. The students will learn to drive in high school. And these all make question forms the same way by inversion. So, you are driving becomes, are you driving? The next one, is he going to take driving lessons? And will the students learn to drive in high school? Now, look at the comparisons in this graphic. Note that these WH questions also use does and do for simple present questions, and the subject-verb inversion for the other tenses. What car do you usually drive? Present tense, right? What are you doing? Present continuous. And what are you going to do tomorrow night? Future. Or what will you do next Monday? Future. And look at the other WH question words. When do you usually drive to work? Where are they driving in such a rush? Why are they going to ride in the back seat? And which car will they drive to Boston? All right? I'd say it's time for an exercise. In this exercise, you will write the WH questions for each statement. Each sentence in your study guide will have a few words underlined. The underlined words signal which WH question word you should use. You must write the WH word question. Okay? Look at this graphic. Yukiko usually drives to work every day. Drives is underlined. It's the action word. So the WH word is what? What does Yukiko usually do every day? Hideo is riding with Yukiko to save energy. To save energy is underlined. It's a reason, an explanation. So the question word is why. Why is Hideo riding with Yukiko? To save energy. She's going to drive to Boston on Monday. On Monday is underlined, signaling time when. So the question, when is she going to drive to Boston? And finally, they will drive to Boston next week. To Boston is underlined. That's a place or a location, so the where question word is appropriate. Where will they drive next week? Pretty good, huh? Okay, so put your program on pause, look at your study guide, and please do the exercise. Come back here and we'll review it. Let's review that exercise. You saw Yukiko usually drives to work every day, and drives was underlined. So you knew you needed to use the what question word. And when you made the question, you wrote, what does Yukiko usually do every day? Next one. Why is Hideo riding with Yukiko? Remember, to save energy, wrote. Next one. When is she going to drive to Boston? Where will they drive next week? What are they doing now? When will they practice driving? Where does Maya ride with Yukiko? Where are they going to look? Why will they drive to Boston? And what do you never do? Good.